looks sick. Look at you go. Look, you can slide them off a bit. Oh, wow. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you about gap year ideas, because I personally think a gap year is really important, and yeah, I just learned a lot through my gap year. I think it helped me a lot, like, in my overall life. It sounds very cheesy, but that's true. And yeah, so I just think everyone should do a gap year. So I came up with 18 ideas and yeah, things you can do during your gap year. So let's get right into that. My first idea is to do an internship. So if you're doing a gap year, you usually have a year, so why not take that time and do an internship in a field you're interested in? Or if you're thinking about studying or starting to work, anything, just do an internship to see if you actually like it. And sometimes they are really impressed by you and then they just take you over, so go for it. The second one is to go for a working holiday year anywhere. Like, it could be Australia, it could be anywhere. For everyone who doesn't know me yet, I've been in Australia for the past 2 years. So I've done 2 gap years and I don't regret it. But just do a gap year. It could be Canada, Australia, anywhere in Europe. Like most countries in Europe have a working holiday visa you can get. I can put a list on here with all the countries you can do a gap year, you can do a working holiday year in. And for everyone who can't decide where to go, not only for like a working holiday year, but for like any sort of travels, I can highly recommend to get an astrology reading based on the location. Astrology is so much more than just star signs. Every single person has a natal chart, which is a frozen snapshot of the sky from the exact time and place from when you were born. So because of that, the positioning of the planets influences your physical body. By using an astrocartography chart, which just looks like this, you can see what places influences you in what way. So where you might feel happier, where you're gonna have a better social life, and all that sort of stuff. I personally done that, and it helped me so much to figure out where I wanted to go and where I didn't want to go. And I do it with KJ Atlas. She's like an astrology, like locational astrologer, and yeah, she's amazing. I done like a call with her and she told me like all the things I need to know about the places in the world which are like good and like bad for me. But yeah, I can highly recommend using her, and I just link like her website and everything in the description below. She actually has an offer on right now, which is called Gifts, Talents and Purpose Reading for $44, which is basically for like all the grad students or university students or everyone who just doesn't really know what to do. So yeah, I can show you my chart here. That's what it looks like, the natal chart, but go for it. It's really fun, really interesting, and it helped me out so much. The third idea you can do is to interrail Europe, and you can actually get like tickets. And I'm personally from Germany, so I've been to loads of places in Europe, but Europe is amazing. With that ticket for the train, I don't know how much it is, I can blend it in here, but it's not that much, and you get to see amazing countries. The fourth one is travel Southeast Asia. That's a go-to. You can do it alone, it's safe. You can do it with friends or whoever, but it is sick and cheap and just nice. The fifth one is to volunteer. So you can either do that in your home country and yeah, help out wherever they need help, or you can go somewhere else and do yeah, all different kinds of like volunteering, like social years. Just be careful when you're going to like third world countries and you're only gonna do it for like a month. Maybe make sure you're not gonna work with children, because they get attached to like all these volunteers and then they just like switch over, so they don't really have anything constant in their life. It's just constantly changing, which is not good. So if you're only gonna do it for like a month, just maybe don't do it with kids. But other than that, you can literally help out with turtles. You can do all sorts of stuff. There's sick opportunities like anywhere in the world. But yeah, just do your research, because it is a bit dangerous in that field. Obviously, if there's gonna be like a 1 or 2 weeks you're gonna volunteer and they ask you to pay $3,000, is it actually gonna help them, or is it just like a fucking organization wanting to make money? So just do your research. The sixth one is become a ski instructor for a season, so which is usually like 4 to 6 months. You can do that in Japan, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, Austria, like anywhere. Go for it. The 7th one is to do your yoga teacher training and to work as a yoga teacher. And I don't know if you have been in any places in Asia yet, but it's beautiful and you get all these like nice yoga resorts, and yeah, it's just lovely there, and I would love to do that. So you can do a yoga teacher training, which usually is around 200 hours, I think, and then you can work as a yoga teacher. And I met a girl in Australia and she was a yoga teacher, and she traveled from like all like the different resorts and just taught yoga there, and she absolutely loved it. So that's a great idea. Number 8 is to work as a surf instructor or as a like diving instructor. And if you don't know how to dive yet, you can, for example, do internships in the Great Barrier Reef for free, where you basically help them with like all the tools and everything for 3 months, I think, and then you get your like diving certificate, and then you can work as a diving instructor. So that's a great way to spend your gap year. Number 9 is to do an au pair year, and I'm actually working as an au pair right now, so it is part of my gap year. But that's, yeah, really fun. You get to see, you can do it in like so many different countries, and you get to see the true spirit of the country. Number 10 is to teach English in Asia, and I heard amazing stories from people that taught English in Vietnam, like 6 stories. You earn so much money there because they want everyone to learn English. So English teachers there get a lot of money, and living costs are so low that you can save a lot of money and you will have a lot of fun. Number 11 is to work as a camp counselor, and you can actually do that either in the States, where it's like really big, like most people know about like working at camp, but you can also do that in Germany. For example, I know a couple of friends of mine that worked for like teeny holiday companies called like Woof, or like different companies, and you can basically do a training which usually takes like a week or a couple days, and then you go to like different countries in Europe and just look after the kids or the teens, go party with them. You don't get that much money, it's more for fun, but you meet amazing people, and I heard a lot of good stuff about it. Number 12 is to go on a spiritual retreat, and there's so many different ones. I always wanted to do that, so that's a big tip. Pet? How do you pronounce Appalachian Trail? Appalachian?
A few moments later.
Number 13 is to walk the Appalachian Trail, and I always wanted to do that. It takes, I think, like 6 months or something, or like a year, I don't even know. It takes a long time, so if you don't want to do a walk that long, there are so many different walks all over the world, which usually just take like a couple weeks or maybe like a month. And I reckon that would be like so sick. I always wanted to do it in the Alps, and then in New Zealand there are a couple of walks like that I really wanted to do. Number 14 is to do an overland tour in Africa. That is just a great way to get away from like all the tourists in Africa. So like if you do that, like most likely no backpackers and tourists are going to be there. Everything is basically like booked for you, and like you pay for everything, so they have like all the backpacks and foods and stuff, but you get to see like the true Africa. So good tip that. Number 15 is to just work and save money, because studying or anything is like not the cheapest, and it is nice to have some money backed up. So why don't you just work and then maybe take like 2 months off and travel with that, or just save it. Always a good idea to have a bit of money saved. Number 16 is to start a business. I personally think when you're really young, you don't really have that much to lose. Like, you don't have a family you have to provide things for. You don't really, you just live life, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But why not start like a side hustle or like business if you always wanted to do it? Number 17 is to just learn something new. There are so many different things. Like on YouTube, you can literally learn anything. So why not learn something new, a new language, anything? Just get your mind, work on your mind, learn something, and maybe you can even make money with it. And number 18, last but not least, why don't you work on a cruise ship? I actually met a girl here in Australia as well. She worked on a cruise ship for I think half a year or a year, and she said like she loved it. She worked like, she just looked after the kids, like just, but she really liked it. So I don't know if you need any sort of like qualification for it, but just try. So like with all them ideas, just why not? Just take a gap year, why not? Like after school, you're never going to be that young again, but you still have the freedom because you're like adult. So you still have the freedom to do everything you want, really. So just go for a gap year, why not? You will definitely not regret it. So let me know if you like them ideas, and if you have any other ideas for gap years, if you done a gap year and if you liked it. I'm still my second gap year and I loved it. Would love to do like 10 more, but yeah, oh well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.